we made enough passes, we dropped enough bombs that the observation pilot was reading our ORI, operational inspection. I said, you guys, we're out of targets, go home. First we tried to shoot down a couple of flares, we dropped those, and that was kind of fun watching the tracers go around the flares and see if you hit them thing. Anyway, they sent us home, back to the carrier, and I think our overcast over that target was around 4,000 feet, and we knew it was overcast, and we didn't know how thick, and my flight leader, Barney Oldfield, said, okay, I'm going to go up on top, and we'll head back for the ship, and I thought, well, you're not leaving me down here in the dark by myself, I'm going to be right with you, so I just followed formation on his fuselage and wing lights. I sucked in real close, and we climbed up, and we broke out about 12,500 feet, and it was absolutely magnificent. Puffy white clouds all over, bright full moon. It was, you could see the reed by it, it was that bright. And so we're headed back to the ship, and we get fairly close to it, and he calls in, he says, hey, this is so-and-so where we were that night, and requested permission to land. And the ship called back and said, yes, your signal Charlie, which meant Charlie meant that the deck was ready and it's okay, come on down and land. So we started a descent. Well, first off, we hit 12,000 feet, and my flight leader, Barney Oldfield, said, hey, Hoff, where are you at? And I said, right on your tail. And he looked off to the right, and he about fell out of the cockpit, I think. He said, good grief, I didn't know you were that close to me. And I said, yeah, you weren't going to leave me back there alone. So anyway, we got up back over the ship,
Well, when we run out,
and
napkins in there that they black.
we started our descent, and we broke out at 300 feet, which is the top of the masthead and the carrier. And normally we take a 4-second break interval between the guy leading or ahead of you, and then 4 seconds later you broke and turned downwind. And you had to descend to 300 feet, and with the gear and the flaps down, abeam the ship, in other words, straight across them. The ship's going this way, and we're flying this way. And that gave us a little extra space for the turn. Anyway, the procedure was to, when you're 300 feet, you got your gear and your flaps down, you're ready to land, and you get a beam the ship. You had to control everything with power, and I'm doing about 115 knots, I think, at that time, and 300 feet off the deck. And then I slowed down, I took the power off, and I was supposed to descend down to 150 feet, and then add power back on to hold me to 150 feet. Well, I flew the rest of the pattern and joined up and caught the meatball, which is a mirror landing system. And then I'd fly the meatball down the flight deck until I got permission to land, or a signal to cut the engine and land. Well, I hit the 300 feet all right, and I reduced the power, started my turn in, and I'm turning, and I lost that ship. Oh yeah, that was first part. I broke up, and we had to double our interval at night, allow for the deck crews, so everything moved just a little bit slower. And so instead of 4 seconds, it was 8 seconds. So 8 seconds at 130 knots gets you quite a ways down the road. And I turned back, and after my 8 seconds, there was no ship back there. It's just totally black dark, and it scared the daylights out of me. I thought, I'm going to find the thing first, and I'm going to worry about landing on it. And sure as heck, I flew straight back towards the ship. And pretty soon here, I saw the lights on the conning tower and the deck lights of the ship. I thought, got it. So I pulled out to my beam position, and I'm 300 feet, and I hit that, and I reduced the power. And I'm coming around, and all of a sudden, I see the wing lights flashing off the water about 25 feet below me. I forgot to put the power back on to hold my altitude. And boy, You talk about somebody shook up. I had power like crazy, and I know I did everything wrong. When you put power on a big engine like that, you gotta put in a lot of right rudder to keep from torque rolling the thing, it'll roll right around the axis of the engine. And I put in left rudder. And I don't know why I did that, but I'm sure that's what I did. And put on all the power that I had, and I started to climb back up, and I looked down at the airspeed indicator. We flew those approaches about 90 to 92 knots. About 90 would have been alright because we were pretty light. I looked down at the airspeed indicator, and I was doing 82. That airplane doesn't fly at 82. God was holding me up that night. And I put the power on and went past that conning tower with all 27 horses pulling on that thing, and got up and got the wheels back up again, and my landing signal officer, Lauren Deerdorf, said, "Okay, Hoff, settle down, we're gonna get you on here this time." Yeah, okay. And sure enough, I got back up to 300 feet, and I followed my procedure like I should have, came right in down the center line, landed, went down to the mess hall and had a cup of coffee and about a half a bag of cigarettes. Holy crap, scared the daylights out of me. And that's one night that was a miracle, because I did everything wrong, and everything came out alright. So God was holding me up that night. He had to been, because that airplane don't fly that slow. I should have stalled it out, and it didn't stall. No.